Everybody. Today we're going to have a really, really fun game for the lesson for Earth School. This is going to be all about financial abundance. And what we've got, I have it playing in the background. It was so confusing. Anyway, yeah, so we're going to be talking about financial abundance. I see you watching, so leave me a comment in the chat. Say hello, say what's up, say I'm ready for a financial abundance lesson. Say something. Make yourself known in the chat below, and then I know who I'm talking to here. I invited a few people, so I'm looking forward to seeing you, write who you are. And if you're watching the playback or if you're watching this in the community, make sure you make a post after and have the community access something that you really utilize, because it's there for a reason, right? Like, this is how we support one another. This is how we learn from one another beyond just what we're doing in the lecture. But this is the financial abundance game. It's one of the downloads that we have accessible through the community. And it's going to be something that, you can utilize with the 27 other games that are in the packet. A few of them are financially related, and then some of them are health related, right? Because everything is holistic. Now, there's a quote that I saw for the first time around this time last year. And that quote was, if you have enough money to solve a problem, then you don't have a problem. And I thought that was so powerful, because it's true. It doesn't say if you have enough money to solve your problem. It says if you have enough money to solve a problem. So that means really listening to the people around you and being a solution, which is one of the principles that we covered in the principle video. Be a solution every chance you get, serve. But I just think that that's so powerful. The first time I saw that quote was in Joe Polish's office in Arizona. And it was like written with a bunch of really cool art. I'll see if I can find the video of it in my phone and post that in the community. But it just really, really resonated with me. And it is the truth. And, full transparency, I've been in a position where I've had very little resources before, or that's not true. We have more resources than we ever possibly could imagine, because we are our biggest asset. What I really was saying was that I've been in the position where I was very low on cash before. And, I always like to use the example where it's like, you got a dime, because if you got a dime, you can print a single piece of paper at a public library. And you could print a resume, you could print a cover letter, you could print, a flyer, you could print something. Are we back? I think we're back. I hope so. Anyway, I don't know where it cut off, but I swear I'm going to get this live stream thing down once again. It's been a little bit since I've actually done this regularly, but if you go far enough back on my YouTube channel, you see I used to do this a lot. Anyway, we're back now. So the financial abundance game, let's get right into it. You've got yours printed out from the link in the Etsy shop, which is great. I don't remember which page number it is, because that packet does have a lot of different games, but it's toward the beginning. It might be like the 5th page or something like that. But the first step is to account, right? So in the financial abundance game, we're going to account. And this is for all ages. It just looks cute, but it's not necessarily just for children. This is something that's great for your parents to play along with children as well. So I definitely highly encourage you making all of these, in mind, or keep, I read something at the same time. Keep in mind that this is for all ages. Oh, I see. I was just reading your text, Jules. That's why I said in mind. But perfect. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. And I want to talk to you specifically because I think you would like to be an affiliate and bring people into the ecosystem, based on just like you already commenting and tagging people on the TikTok, but that's a whole separate conversation. Anyway, financial abundance account. How many dollars and cents do you have? Be exact. So it's so important. And we talk about this when we're working with financial clients doing the life insurance side of things. But being exact about your debt to income ratio is really important. You got to just be honest with yourself, So I was just counting an old quarter collection before I came here. And so let's honor the conversation I was just initially bringing this up with, where, sometimes we're low on cash, but never low on resources, because we are the resource, which we'll get into. But let's say in the quarter collection I was counting, I think it was let's say $6.75, right? So I'm writing $6.75 here. And then you list out what ways you could use that money to solve a problem, right? So you could, let's say with my Etsy shop, right? It's 20 cents to renew all of the listings for an item. So if I have an item, and I'm going to bust out the calculator here, we're going to get technical with it, right? So let's see, 20 cents to renew every, I think, month it is. So that's technically 0 cents, but we're going to think forward and be proactive, right? So 20 cents for 8 items, because I have it listed as 8. I like to use the number 8 as sacred numerology in alignment with the money number, right? So it's just good to have things be the number 8, like the community access to the Earth School community for lifetime access is $48.88. So it's just an example, but let's say it's going to be $1.60 to have 8 items on Etsy. And that doesn't matter what price it is. My items are downloadable, printable items. So you can design them for free and then list them for free, $1.60 after the listing is up, if they haven't sold out. So that's the objective, is to get the, item sold, right? Before it's going to expire. Exactly, Jules. You said check and balance 8. Perfect. So perfect. We can even start with the number 8. We can make it not that. I like that idea. Let's make it, instead of $6.75, let's make it $8, right? So let's say that if we make the 8 items on the Etsy shop up there, it will be $1.60 for those 8 items. And what ways could we use that money to solve a problem? We could do a lot of different things, right? We could, work with me here too. You can comment in the chat as well, since we're live doing this. But you could get I don't know why my brain's thinking this, but you could buy a rake. Probably. I would imagine you could buy a really cheap rake, right? Or something along those lines, and rake your neighbor's leaves, or because it's, fall, everything's coming down now. You could go out, make a free flyer, print it out for 10 cents at the public library. So let's make let's say 10 cents, or let's allocate a whole $1 just toward flyers, right? So we could have a digital download of something valuable that would help people, like for example, for you, Jules, like you could do a digital download. You could make a video, right, of like a tutorial of how to crochet, because I've seen you do that before on TikTok. And then you could make a digital flyer or a digital download, a PDF of like step by step, like this is one crochet technique. This is the tool that you'd want to buy to get it. Where it's like you're teaching someone something, so it's valuable. And then of course you have your products that you are inherently valuable, you created, are beautiful, but to go along with that as a value add, you teach someone how to do something. It's like they say, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day, but teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime, right? And so that's inherently like what this is too, like that's the whole point. And that's why I took pause when we first launched Earth School. I was like, I'm not prepared to do this because I don't have the system structure to actually sustainably teach people the way that I know that would be valuable in the long run. And so, that's what's most important. Yes, you said yarn, co-creation, nourishment. Exactly. Co-creating harmony through community. That's what we are up to. Co-creating harmony in community. This is unity. And you're better than we're making money, honey. Perfect. So exactly. Just my little musical break. Oh, Aaliyah. I'm in the office here. I'm doing a live stream before we start yoga. So I'll be in there in just a few minutes, okay? Awesome. You said, okay, yep, it's going on my GoDaddy for free. Get the tutorial. Perfect. So that's another thing we could say. You could get a website domain for probably like $2 or something like that. So let's add that to the ways that we could use the money to solve the problem. And you said, it allows me to do physical or actual products. Yes, exactly. So you can have both. The best of both worlds. And then even I think systemi.io, which is this platform that, right now we're using Restream, which is another free platform you can do live streams on. But the actual course is on Restream, which is on systeme.io, which is also free, I think. So using the internet, we have a lot of options to create things that solve problems for people. So we say $1 for printing things out, $2 for $2 for a GoDaddy website, right? And let's just list out a few other things that would potentially solve a person's problem. Let's say you know that a mom in your neighborhood doesn't have time to make the kids lunch or something like that. You could buy some salad, something simple, something really simple of solving a person's problem. You could say, hey, I've got, a half an hour to make dinner for your kids, a healthy dinner. I know you're busy. I'm going to go ahead and get the stuff. How does $15 sound, for a dinner for the whole family? And then you buy salad for whatever remaining amount of money and, make $15. Now we're going to get into give and it shall be given, doing things non-transactionally and without expectation. But realistically, we're just brainstorming and trying to get the mind to think about a lot of different ways that we can, actually solve people's problems. But what I love doing, things like what you said, making videos and digital products and physical products, is that we're solving a problem with our resources that we can do multiple times over. So there's a high ROI, there's a high return on investment of our time, of our energy, and of our resources. because we're doing something that's actually scalable. Anyone can watch a video. You can send them the same link over and over and over again. You can send them that same link to buy the Etsy transaction, right? So let's just knock out the rest of this here, where in your case, you might need the rest of that money to actually buy the yarn or to buy the supplies. So let's say $1.60 for the Etsy listing, $1 for printing out flyers, $2 for the website, and then let's make the remaining just yarn, right? So $1.60 plus $1 plus $2 is $4.60. You said funny, I cook for beings once they're greeny, fitting. Perfect. See, intuitively just channeling that as your lived reality. And now I really want a salad, but I'm in the middle of a melon and water fast. So I'm going to just allow that to be something in my heart. I'm bartering now. Being needs a scarf. I love the way you speak. And the being needs a scarf. And I need my herbal hair oil without chemicals. Exactly. So that's another thing about, and I knew I would resonate with you just in general, because this is what this community is about, is a return to ancient ways, right? Like bartering, trading, and looking at things in a lens of community is not just about money flow. I mean, yes, we create a circular economy, but beyond that, we are providing value and taking care of one another inherently through the things that we do that we each need. And it's a beautiful thing to be able to have that understanding. And so we got $4.60, and the remaining is going to be that $3.40. So you could probably buy a spool of yarn with that. I'm not really sure what yarn costs nowadays, but I would imagine you can. And so, yeah, I mean, obviously there are other technicalities like how do I get to the store and how do I pay for shipping or whatever. But let's just keep things as simple as this for right now, because what we're doing is trying to solve other people's problems, not creating more problems in our mind about limitations of why we can't do the thing, right? So creating a solution. Exactly. Pick one problem that you could solve and write why it matters. So for you, it's like, what problem are you actually solving by creating the yarn creations or creating the different things that you're doing? One reason is that the world is more beautiful, right? Or that it's getting cold outside and people need things to wear that are actually warm. Or you decide to shift gears into something else that's like solving a more direct problem for someone. If you're struggling at all to find what's something that is done, and I'm not just talking to you, Jules, I'm talking to everybody. If you're finding resistance within yourself, like, how do I actually solve this problem, or what problem am I actually solving? For me, and for this, with Earth School, the problem I sat down with is like, we didn't learn these things in school. We didn't learn financial abundance. We didn't learn about breathing techniques. We didn't learn about life insurance. We didn't learn about family legacy. We didn't learn about how to actually tell people to kick rocks. We didn't learn about these things. And a lot of our parents didn't teach us these things. And a lot of our parents weren't equipped to teach us these things. And the school system surely didn't care, right? So one problem that we're solving here is that we are not being properly guided or educated. And so the problem is improper resources and improper education around holistic health and wealth, right? So I'm just writing that here on my financial abundance sheet, which is in the Etsy shop. You said using our life force as we were intended. That's a huge problem. We're not using our life force as Allah, as divine source, as the creator within us all intended. And that's a huge problem. Then write how you would solve those problems and who it helps. So I'm going to just use the Earth School curriculum as an example to keep things really concise. But writing how it solves the problem is that it's a clear curriculum and community for and I'll say who it helps in a second. I write all Earth's children because not everyone has a child, but we're all Earth's children. To be specific, moms and dads, but mostly moms who are looking for homeschool or alternative schooling for their children, or who want to put themselves through unschooling in the process of going through Earth School as well. And then deeper than that, it's a community space. So it's not just the curriculum and teaching through these lessons, but it's also having like-minded or open-hearted people who are able to help them come into alignment, just like we're helping each other now. And then you decide when you will produce this and where you will get the supply. So for me, it was like, I was ready to do this when Sue and I first met each other, Jules. And then I realized I needed to pause because I needed to do this a little bit more calculated or a little bit more in alignment energetically. And so I did my work. I went within. I learned a bunch of new things. I co-created with people that helped me get on purpose. And then after that, it was like, the time is now, like sitting down and just busting it out, but having had the experience to be able to build that online curriculum within that amount of time, channeling divine source, waking up as early as sometimes 3 a.m. Like, I'm not exaggerating, to do my subconscious healing work, to really to look at the stars and to look at the moon and to fast and to take my time away and go within and impeccably listen to divine source and to call upon all of my, benevolent galactic council to really guide me. And this is where it might lose some people because it's very spiritual, but finance is a spiritual game. Like, we are the solutions. Exactly. We are your problem and your solution, period. And so that's great news, because if you've got a problem, then you know exactly who can solve it, and it's you. And it's only you, right? And it's really energetic. Like, the more that we allow that anxiety and things like that to stir up within ourselves, we're blocking and creating tension where there really shouldn't be any resistance. So, yes, we've got the Earth School is solving the problem for moms, Montessori, alternative education, and creating a safe space for particularly women who seek to embody that divine feminine, which is kind of getting overused. I like to say quintessential wifely and quintessential motherly energy. That's what I'm here to be. And I'm very certain about that. Every time I go and I get that clear message, be a mother, like a matriarchal figure, a wife, like a true wife. And that's a whole separate conversation. For the sake of time, though, I'm helping is women who are really seeking to have that, or families just in general, to have that kind of safe haven within. It's very, very important to be able to provide that. And it's a huge problem. We've completely lost all direction when it comes to that, with the way that the world has unfolded, making women think that we're supposed to be, independent and all of these things. It's like, yes, of course we are independent, but there's something more powerful than that, which is interdependence, which was the original culture's way of being. Interdependence. We do need each other. There's a flow, right, of working with one another and pivoting from the way that the world has designed things to be, and brainwashing particularly the woman into thinking she doesn't need a man is key, because we need each other. We need each other. Well, we don't need anything, and we need each other, because that's the whole point of symbiosis. Oh no, the internet's cutting out. That's no good. Well, we'll see how much of it stays consistent within the playback. But last step, and then I do need to end the live because I go to teach yoga, is when you will produce this, where you will get the supplies. So that's kind of the most simple step, right? Is like, now that we know, like, today is the day I'm doing this, where am I getting the supplies? And ideally, you're going to be co-creating with someone, start local and co-create with the people within your community. Maybe there's a woman within the community who sells yarn, or maybe there's a person that you know through TikTok that you can reach out to, that you can co-create with in that way. For me, it was like, when will I produce this? Today. Where will I get the supplies? Well, gratefully, the supplies were already waiting for me to utilize them, right? Like, I'd already been building up these creative resources for the Etsy shop. I had already been creating the video over the past few years. I already gained the knowledge of building up my email list, building up my social media accounts, building and building and building. To this time I have an offer, I have the resources, and I know where to get those supplies. And it's very much, because it's a digital product, intangible supplies for the most part. But again, I printed out these sheets and things like that. But with the $8 that we looked at for the check and balances, we know that we can allocate those funds properly to make sure we get them. So that is the financial abundance game. Again, if you have enough money to solve a problem, then you don't have a problem. If you have enough money to solve a problem, you do not have a problem. You are always able, always, to pull yourself up from your bootstraps to get something done from an energetic space of contribution. And that's the biggest part, because you can just be sporadic and frantic in your movement, but from the laws of the universe, that's going to come right back and hit you. I kind of you go like that to punch yourself, not that. It's going to come right back and hit you, right? It's going to come right back and hit you with that same energy. And that's just the laws of karma. That's just the laws of the universe. Give and it shall be given unto you. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door shall be open unto you. For those who seeketh shall findeth, who giveth shall receiveth, and that those who knocketh, it shall be open. It is as marvelous and simple as that. Earl Nightingale's like, you kind of said it right, but it doesn't matter. I said it. I said it right. I said it. And sip of coconut water before I go. Just letting that marinate, right? There's trillions of dollars flowing all over the world right now. They're not even real dollars anymore. It's all in here. It's all in here. What's holding you back? Because if you don't have it, it's mental. I know we hate it. We hate to admit it, especially the awakened ones. We don't like to admit it. But something mental and emotional. And that's great news, because that means that we know where to start. Give from the heart. Give. I love you so much. I'm going to go do my yoga and my breathing and my stretching. I trust that you will have a beautiful day. And Jules, I really look forward to talking to you, because I think you would like to be an affiliate. So let's message each other. I'll send you something after yoga class. All right. Make your post in the community. Tell us what you come up with. I'm so looking forward to seeing your digital and your physical products. We're here to co-create. So share what you're working on, everybody. Don't be silent. Come on. I'm waiting. Love is law. Family is business.